Gold is up by about 8 to 9% over the last month or so, and yesterday, with slightly higher than expected inflation numbers, gold came down by about 1% or so. Let's have a look at quick details. Zooming out a little, talking about these cycles in gold price. There are intermediate cycles lasting for an average of around half a year, and within those intermediate cycles we have these daily cycles lasting usually for around a month and a half, a couple of months. The ongoing intermediate and daily cycle have been going on for 28 days. So while it is possible that gold has topped for this ongoing short-term daily cycle several days ago, coming close to that round number of $2,200, usually round numbers might provide some resistance, so gold is sliding down over the last few days, but the daily cycle isn't extremely long yet. Remember, they last for around a couple of months sometimes. So while there is a chance that gold has already topped for this ongoing daily cycle, meaning that for the rest of the daily cycle, for another couple of weeks, gold might actually continue down before the next push higher into the second daily cycle of the ongoing intermediate cycle. So while there is this possibility, I think it's still pretty likely that gold might attempt one more push higher above that round number of $2,200 to catch some of the less experienced traders, latecomers into this trade. That's what markets usually like to do. That's how most of the market participants lose money, chasing into a very hot environment just before a bit of a crash, in this case perhaps temporary, down into the daily cycle low, followed by another rally into the second daily cycle of this ongoing intermediate cycle. Next, a quick look at market sentiment. Over the last couple of days, optics has reached the level of 70. That's usually a bit of a cautionary sign, especially if we are poking well above 70. As of yesterday, optics was at 65. So again, there are a couple of scenarios for gold price. There might be a bit of a cool down over the next couple of weeks down into the short-term daily cycle low. Or this cool down might take place after a few days of poking above the $2,200. In either case, the outlook for the next 2 to 3 to 4 weeks is perhaps a bit of a sideways to down, while the outlook for the next couple of months is a next rally into the next daily cycle low of this ongoing intermediate cycle. A quick look at GDX, gold miners. In our previous video, we discussed this downtrend line that has been established since the middle of 2022. I do think that while GDX might cool down for a few days, with RSI after all approaching close to overbought area, eventually in the ongoing intermediate cycle, I still expect GDX to poke above this downtrend line. And if you zoom in, we might see an inverted head and shoulders forming up over here over the next several days with a bit of a double bottom over here, perhaps the right shoulder testing the 50-day moving average before shooting up into the next daily cycle. And next, a quick look at silver. This is a longer-term weekly chart, and silver is still promising. While gold has already rallied quite significantly, silver still needs to catch up a little. Going back to the pandemic lows, looking at these 8 intermediate cycles in both gold and silver, we see that usually silver does outperform gold in the rallies. Out of the last 8 intermediate cycles, silver outperformed gold significantly around 4 times. These are the green arrows on your screen. By the way, the lower part of the chart shows the ratio of silver price to gold price. In additional 3 out of those 8 last intermediate cycles going back to the pandemic lows, silver did outperform gold, but relatively marginally. These are these purple arrows. And in one of those intermediate cycles, around the early part of 2021, silver didn't really outperform gold that much. And zooming in, we see that the ratio of silver price to gold price hasn't really poked significantly higher, which is quite normal. It's usually later in the intermediate cycles when silver does catch up and outperform versus gold price. So to summarize the video in one sentence, perhaps some softness in precious metals over the next couple of weeks, followed by another rally sometime later into second half of April and into May. That's all for this quick update. For more details, join us at myfinancesteacher.org. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Bye-bye.